Hi, my name is Jesse Mack. Today we're going to be going over your entire pre-trip. We're going to start off with your brake test, your end cap, and then your outside pre-trip. Please note that you have to have 100% on your brake test in order for you to move forward with your end cap and your outside pre-trip. So let's hop inside the truck with 3 points of contact and let's get started. I have entered the truck with 3 points of contact. First thing I'm going to do is put on my seatbelt. My wheels are chalked. First thing I'm going to do is turn the truck into the on position. My gauges have swept, and I'm going to turn the truck on. What I'm going to be doing first is listening for my air governor cutoff. So what I will do is rev my engine up to 1,000 RPMs. And I am listening for my air governor cutoff to sneeze between 120 and 140 PSI. I'm gonna let my wind down to listen for my sneeze. There's my sneeze. My air governor cutoff is working, and that is a successful test. My next part of my test is my air leakage rate test. So what I'm going to do from here is actually turn the truck off. I'm going to turn it back into the on position. My gauges have swept, and I'm going to release my brakes while pressing on my service brake, and I'm waiting for my air tank needle to settle. The hissing has stopped and the needle is settled. Now I will ask for my examiner to time me for 60 seconds, and I should not lose no more than 4 PSI within those 60 seconds. You may go. That was a successful test. And my next test is my air warning device check. I'm going to fan my brakes, and my buzzer and or light should come on before it drops below 55 PSI. That was a successful test. Now we'll continue fanning for my emergency test to make sure that my valves pop out between 45 and 20 PSI. That is a successful test. My next part of my test is I'm going to air my tanks back up to move towards my tug test. Moving on is my tug test. The first thing I'm going to do is test my trailer brakes. So I'm going to release my tractor brakes, waiting for the hissing to stop. I am going to select the low gear. I'm going to slowly come off the clutch, and I should feel a tug. There it is. I'm putting in neutral and set my brakes. The next is testing my tractor brakes. I'm going to push in my trailer brake. Wait for the hissing to stop. I am going to select the low gear, and I'm going to slowly come off the clutch until I feel a tug. There it is. Put it in neutral, set my brake. Those both were successful tests. Now, this is an option where you can get out of the truck here and you can unchock your wheels to move to do your service brake test. I have gotten back into the truck. I put my seatbelt back on. Now we are moving over to our service brake test. What I'm going to do is release both of my brakes. Wait for the hissing to stop. I will select the low gear, and what I'm going to do is proceed 5 miles an hour, keep my hands lightly on the steering wheel. I will apply the service brake, and I should not feel a pull to the left or to the right, which will indicate a suspension or a brake problem. You pull forward, apply the brake. That was a successful test. Go back to neutral, set your brakes. That concludes our brake test. Now moving forward to our end cap. End cap, my windshield is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked or broken. There's no illegal stickers or debris obstructing my view. I have my traffic monitoring devices. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked or broken. There's no stickers or debris obstructing my view. I have my windshield wipers. My windshield wipers have the proper tension to the windshield. It sprays evenly, and my windshield wiper blades, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're not worn, torn, or frayed, and they're properly mounted and secured. I have my air horn. I have my city horn. I have my left turn signal. I have my right turn signal. I have my four-way flashers. I have my low beam. I have my high beams. My dash lights up properly. I have enough fuel and depth for my trip for today. I have my defrost. It's blowing. I have my heater. It's blowing. I have my spare electrical fuses in my glove department. I have my 3 reflective triangles that properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is amber and red, and they stand on their own. And then I have my fire extinguisher behind my seat or on the side of my seat, driver's seat. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking, and it's filled to the proper level. I know this because the needle is in the green and it's secured with a cotter pin. That concludes our end cap. Now we're gonna move outside and do our pre-trip. Starting with the front of our truck, we have our clearance lights. Proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is amber. We have our traffic monitoring devices. Proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked or broken. No signs of illegal stickers or debris obstructing my view. We have our traffic monitoring brackets. Proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they support the weight of our mirrors. We have our headlights. Our headlights are properly mounted and secured, and they're cracked, bent, or broken. We have a low beam and a high beam. Both the proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and the proper color is clear. We have our turn signals. Turn signals, proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken. Proper color is amber. They function as our turn signals and our four-way flashers. I'm gonna step back, squat under, make sure that we don't have any leaks or puddles or any hanging debris. And we're also looking for our truck to lean left to the right, which will indicate a low tire or a suspension issue. We're gonna open our hood with 3 points of contact. That concludes the front. Now moving on. We have our passenger side of our vehicle. We're gonna go with our coolant reservoir. Our coolant reservoir is proper mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. Our cap is secured tight. Proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, and broken, and it's not leaking. All the hoses leading to and from, no abrasion, bumps, or cuts, they're not leaking. All of our wires leading to and from, not worn, torn, or frayed, no exposed wires. We have to make sure that our coolant reservoir is filled between the minimum and the maximum, and that concludes our passenger side of the vehicle. Now we'll walk around and go to the other side. Now we're on our driver's side of our vehicle. We got our oil fill tube and our dipstick. Oil fill tube is proper mounted secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. Our cap is secured on tight, proper mounted secured, and it's not leaking. In order to check our oil, we'll take out our dipstick, we wipe it off, we will insert it back, take it back out, and check the levels. If we need to fill it with oil, we go through our fill tube and fill it to the proper level, and we repeat the process. We have a power steering reservoir. It's proper mounted secured, it's not cracked, bent, and broken. All the hoses leading to and from, no abrasion, bumps, or cuts, they're not leaking. We have to make sure that it's filled to the proper levels, in between the minimum and the maximum, and the cap is secured and tightly, and it's proper mounted secured, not cracked, bent, and broken, and it's not leaking. We have our shock absorber. Our shock absorber is proper mounted secure from top to bottom, and it's not leaking. These are air lines, and there are no audible leaks. We have a pitman arm, drag link, upper and lower steering arm, and our tie rod, proper mounted secure, not cracked, bent, and broken. They are all secure with calcium nuts and cotter keys. We have our front leaf spring hanger and our rear leaf spring hanger way back here in the back, proper mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. We have our leaf springs, saddle, and U-bolts are proper mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of any shifting, which will be shiny metal. We have our brake hose. Brake hose is proper mounted and secure from end to end, no abrasion, bumps, or cuts, and it's not leaking. We have our ABS line. It's proper mounted and secure from end to end. It's not worn, torn, or frayed, no exposed wires. We have our brake drum and brake shoes. We don't have any contaminants that would affect my braking capabilities, which are signs of grease and oil. This is my steer tire. It's proper mounted and secured. It's not worn, torn, or frayed on all three sides. There will be no abrasion, bumps, or cuts on all three sides. It must be 430 seconds. I will check that with a tire depth gauge. These cannot be recapped. My tire is not leaking. If I need to fill it with air, I use the specifications on the side of the tire, using a tire pressure gauge through my valve stem. My valve stem is proper mounted secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and the cap is secured on tight and it's not leaking. I have my inner and my outer rim. It's proper mounted secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and there's no signs of illegal holes or welds. These are all my lug nuts. They're proper mounted secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're all present. Any signs of looseness will be rust streaks, white powder, or shiny metal. I would inspect this axle the same as I would do my passenger side, my drive tires, and my tandem tires. All the rest of my tires have to be at least 230 seconds, and it cannot be recapped. Moving on to the side of our vehicle, we have our side marker light. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is amber. It works as our four-way flashers and our turn signals. Behind our stairs, we have our battery box. Our battery box is properly mounted and secured. It supports the weight of our batteries, and it's not cracked, bent, or broken. All of our batteries are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. All the wires leading to and from, they're not worn, torn, or frayed, no exposed wires. We do not have any corrosion around our terminals. Moving on to our fuel system. We have our DEF and our fuel tanks. Both are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're not leaking. My DEF cap is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's secured tight, and it's not leaking. Both caps on my fuel tanks are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. They're secured tightly, and they're not leaking. Moving on to coupling, we have our air lines. They're properly mounted and secure from end to end. There are no abrasion, bumps, or cuts, and they're not leaking. This is my electrical line from end to end. It's not worn, torn, or frayed, no exposed wires. My glad hands are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're secured in the locked position. We have our electrical connectors from end to end are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're secured in the locked position. We have our frame and cross members, be plural, cross members are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of illegal holes or welds from end to end. We have our clearance light. It's properly mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and the proper color is amber. We have the side of our trailer. We have to have at least 50% DOT tape along the side of our trailer. Moving on to our fifth wheel, we have our apron. Our apron is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, and broken, and there's no signs of illegal holes or welds. We have our fifth wheel skid plate. It's proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's properly greased. We do not have any daylight in between our fifth wheel and our apron. Our kingpin in between our fifth wheel is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. And we have our locking jaws. Our locking jaws are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they are secured around the shank of our kingpin. This is our release handle. Our release handle or release arm is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's in the locked position. We have our platform. Our platform is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. We have our sliding rail. Our sliding rail is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. And we have our locking pins. Our locking pins are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're in the locked position. They're in the locked position to ensure that we have our proper turning radius from our frame of our tractor and our landing gear. This is our landing gear. Our landing gear is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken from end to end. All of my braces are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken. This is our crank handle. Our crank handle is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's in the stowed away position. Our landing gear is completely raised off the ground, and these are our sand shoes. Our sand shoes are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and there's no signs of any debris that could come off in the midst of traffic. We have our side marker light. Our side marker light is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is amber, and it works as our four-way flashers and our turn signals. We have our framing of our trailer, and our cross members. All cross members are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of illegal holes or welds. We have our flooring. Our flooring is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. There are no signs of any holes, and it supports the weight of our freight. We have our sliding tandem assembly. We have our release handles, proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's in a locked position. We have our sliding rail. Our sliding rail is proper mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. No signs of illegal holes or welds. We have our locking pins. Our locking pins is proper mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they are in the locked position. Here we have our ABS light. Our ABS light is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and the proper color is amber. We have our rear marker light. Our rear marker light is proper mounted and secured, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and the proper color is red. We have to make sure that we have 100% DOT tape on the back of the door. We have to have 100% DOT tape on the bumper. These are my tail lights. My tail lights are proper mounted and secured, they're not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is red. They function as my brake lights and my turn signals and my four-way flashers. We also have our clearance lights, are proper mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The proper color is amber. Be careful, these are old trailers. Majority of the time you will catch these at the top of your trailer. Newly added, we have to talk about a few things on the passenger side. All they want is to talk about your lights and your DOT tape. Here's how you explain that. This is my rear marker light. I will inspect this like I would do the other side. This is my DOT tape. I will inspect this like I would do the other side. I have my side marker light. I would inspect this like I would do the other side. I have my clearance light. I will inspect this like I would do the other side. Last but not least, I have my side marker light, and I'm going to inspect that like I would do the other side. That concludes all of your pre-trip. That is your brake test, your in-cab, and your outside pre-trip. Remember, 100% on your brake test in order for you to move forward with your in-cab and your outside pre-trip. Studying this video for at least 1 hour a day during your training ensure your chances of succeeding when it's time for your testing. Always remember, be safe on that road and get out and look.